Chapter 4. Renunciation of Action in Knowledge. The Blessed Lord said, I imparted this immortal yoga to Vivasvan, Vivasvan to Manu, and Manu to Ikshvaku. O scorcher of foes, this yoga handed down from teacher to disciple in succession was known to the royal sages, but owing to long lapse of time, it was lost to the world. You are my devotee and friend. Thinking thus, I have today declared to you even that ancient yoga, for it is a noble secret, imparted by a teacher only to a worthy disciple. Arjuna said, Thy lifetime is later. That of Vivasvan was much earlier. How then am I to understand that thou didst impart this doctrine to him? The Blessed Lord said, O Arjuna, you and I have passed through many births. I remember them all, but you do not, O scorcher of foes. Though birthless and deathless, and the Lord of all beings as well, yet I, the eternal being, take birth in my inherent mysterious power, employing the pure or sattva aspect of my material nature. Whenever there is decline of dharma and an ascendance of adharma, then, O scion of the Bharata race, I manifest myself in a body. For the protection of the good, for the destruction of the evil, and for the establishment of dharma, I am born from age to age. O Arjuna, he who thus understands the truth about my embodiment and my deeds, he, on abandoning his present body, is not reborn, he attains to me. Freed from passion, fear, and anger, ever absorbed in my thought, and ever dependent on me, many have attained to my state, being purified by the fire of knowledge and austerity. O Partha, whosoever worship me through whatsoever path, I verily accept and bless them in that way. Men everywhere follow my path. In this world, those who entertain desire for the fruits of pious works worship the deities. For in this world of men, such actions bear fruit quickly. According to the aptitudes resulting from the dispositions of nature and works, the social order of fourfold division has been created by me. Though I am their originator, know me to be not an agent, but the spirit unchanging. Actions do not affect me, nor have I any desire for the fruits of action. Whoever knows me to be so is not bound by karma. Knowing thus the ancient aspirants after liberation performed works, therefore you too do work, as these ancients did from time immemorial. What is work and what is no work is a subject regarding which even the wise are perplexed. I shall therefore speak to you about work, by knowing which one is liberated from evil. The truth about the nature of beneficial work has to be understood, as also of baneful work and of no work. The way of work is difficult indeed to understand. He who sees work in no work, and no work in work, he is wise among men. Even while doing all work, he remains established in yoga. Whose undertakings are devoid of self-centered objectives, whose works have been burnt up by the fire of knowledge, him the wise call a sage. Without attachment to the fruits of action, ever satisfied and free from calculations, he is verily doing nothing, even though engaged in actions. One who is free from desires, whose mind is well controlled, and who is without any sense of ownership, incurs no sin from works, as his actions are merely physical. Satisfied with whatever comes without calculations, rising above the contrasting conditions of life, without any competitive spirit, and alike in success and in failure, a man, though working, incurs no sin. In the case of one who is without attachments and the sense of agency, and whose mind is fully established in the knowledge of God, his actions, being done in dedication to the Lord, melt away with their very tendencies. To one of the above description, the ladle with which the offering is made and the oblations are Brahman, and the sacrificial rite, which is Brahman, is performed by the sacrificer, who is Brahman, in the fire, which too is Brahman. He who is thus absorbed in work as Brahman attains to Brahman alone. Some yogis perform sacrifices especially wanting to propitiate deities. Still others offer the Atman itself as oblation in the fire of Brahman. Some offer their organs of knowledge, like hearing, as sacrifice in the fire of restraint, while others take in all their sense perceptions as oblations made in the fire of their respective senses. Others offer all the functions of their senses and vital energy as sacrificial offerings in the fire of self-restraint kindled by knowledge. Likewise others, being of rigid vows and hard practice, offer their wealth, their austerities, their yogic practices, and their daily study of the Vedas as sacrifice. Others, devoted to the practice of pranayama, regulate the movement of prana and apana, and offer as oblation prana in apana, and likewise apana in prana. Some others, who observe regulation of food, make a sacrificial offering of the prana as the vital energy present in foodstuffs, into the prana as the vital energy enlivening the body. All these know the true nature of sacrifice, and have all evil in them washed away by sacrifice. Those who partake of nectar, the sacramental remnants of sacrifice, attain to the eternal Brahman. O thou the best of the Kurus, for one who sacrifices not, this world is lost, not to speak then of the hereafter. Thus many forms of sacrifice are set forth prominently in the Vedas. All of them spring from work. Knowing this, you will attain liberation. O scorcher of enemies, sacrifice involving knowledge is superior to sacrifice with material objects. For, O son of Pritha, all works without exception culminate in knowledge. With reverential salutations do you approach them, the wise men who have known the truth. Serve them and question them repeatedly, with due respect, until your doubts are clarified. These wise men will impart the knowledge of this divine truth unto you. They will impart to you that divine knowledge, by knowing which you will not again fall into such delusion, for you will then see all beings in their entirety in the Self, and also in me. Even if you happen to be the worst of sinners, you will surely go across all sin by the raft of divine knowledge. Just as a well-kindled fire reduces a heap of firewood to ashes, so does the fire of divine knowledge reduce all sins to ashes. Verily, there is nothing so purifying as knowledge in this world. One who is perfect in yoga discovers it in oneself in course of time. A man of deep faith obtains this divine knowledge, being full of zeal and devotion for it, and endowed with the mastery of the senses. Having obtained that knowledge, he is established in supreme peace very soon. An ignorant man without any positive faith, who knows only to doubt, goes to ruin. To such a doubting soul, there is neither this world nor the world beyond. There is no happiness for him. O Arjuna, works do not bind one who has abandoned them through yoga, consisting in dedication and detachment, whose doubts have been dispelled by divine knowledge, and who is poised in the Self. Therefore, cutting asunder the skeptical tendency of the heart by the sword of divine knowledge, betake yourself to yoga, and arise, O scion of the Bharata race,